What's going on, JuicedMoose fans? If I have anyone that's actually a fan, or more of you are trolls than anything, but I like that too. Let's get to the question. I'm trying to do one of these every week because I do have a lot of them, but I always want more, okay? I always have topics that I don't get to because they're outlandish questions that I just haven't got to. YouTube might strike me on. Then I have questions like today, which I think maybe I can help someone with. And the question is this. Dear Tommy, I'm sorry for the basic question. I am young. What's young? Fucking 10? I'm young and getting confused on how many reps I should train in. Is it 6? Is it 12? Or is it 20? Please explain how you do it. I trust you since you've been at this a long time. What the fuck? You calling me old, you little punk? Signed, Benjamin. Alright, look, man. Years ago, there was a thing called magazines. I don't know what's that. Magazine. It was this thing that had pictures in it and writing. I think they're still around, but not bodybuilding magazines. The bodybuilding magazines were like, they would have these like articles, supposedly by pro bodybuilders, but they weren't. They were ghostwriters. And they would just make up these fucking bullshit routines and say 15 reps, 20 reps. 10 reps, etc. 6 to 8. I think there's all kinds of shit. I don't even know if there's any science on this. You know, basically just pick up the fucking weight and move it. The only time I really go over 20 reps is on legs. And not even that anymore. Like lately, the last few months, it's been really hard. I'm traveling fucking all over the country and I just don't have time to train. I'm in strange gyms, different altitudes. You know, I can make all kinds of excuses, but they are what they are. You know what I mean? The fact that you came to me with this question, because of the gray hair probably, you know, I appreciate it. At one time I was, you know, a good sized body, but I was decent. And I'm kind of giving you, you know, my evolution. You know, I started out, well, first of all, you know, Lee Haney had a way of doing it. Dorian Yates was only 2 reps, supposedly. You know, he did like a field set, which was what he would call the warm-up, and 1 all-out set. You know, which he kind of debunked that later. He actually probably did more like 3 sets, more like two field sets, 1 all-out set. And if you watch this Blood and Guts video, you see what that looks like. It was real high intensity. And everyone's kind of following that, you know. And I was too, to a point. And then Ronnie Coleman came around and just kind of shattered that. And Ronnie Coleman was doing, you know, legs twice a week. You know, he was training, you know, 2 hours or more. Not something that the average person could keep up with. But the magazines had these bullshit routines, and I didn't know they were bullshit, you know, until I started training at the Gold's Gym Venice. Got to meet pros, you know, and the ones I didn't meet, I still watched what they did. They were doing anything what the magazine said. And they generally did about 12 repetitions, generally. The idea was, you know, grab a weight that you can safely handle for about 6 reps for their heavy days, and their lighter days might have been a 12-day. So, you know, how I do it, like at first, I decided just to stop counting because 12 puts a ceiling. Look at that bald head. No more Frohawk, I miss it. 12 reps puts a ceiling on things. When you hit that 12th rep, you have a tendency just to say, oh, I'm done, drop it. And the fact is, you're not done. I think that Nick Trigili says it best when he says, you know, it's not your body giving out, it's your mind. Keep going. And actually, he actually says that on legs, but it's really for everything. So it took me years to learn how to stop counting. It was very hard at first. It was very hard. Because even though I was, basically what I was thinking was, okay, philosophy came out by somebody that said, don't start counting till it hurts and count for 6 reps. And that was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And so if you see some of my videos where I'm working out, I'm hitting 12, and some I'm hitting 13, some I'm hitting 15, some I'm hitting 17, some I'm hitting 8, you know. And a lot of that's because I've trained my brain not to count, and I usually blast music in my ears to do that. So, but at first, it was very difficult because even though I wasn't counting, I was still counting. Does that make sense? I was like still ticking off numbers in my head, going through the repetitions. And then I'd say, okay, it's starting to hurt. I'll start counting now. And whatever number I was on, I would reset and go for 6. Eventually, I was able to train my brain to stop doing that. And I still find myself, even today, if I've been out of the gym for a while, like I have been like right now with travel schedule, training in strange gyms at high altitudes, low altitudes. Well, I'm actually used to low altitude. Strange, unfamiliar gyms, strange places. I find myself kind of counting again, and then starting to feel that burn and start counting at 6. But at one point, and if I keep up with it, as my point, if I keep up with the training, I'll eventually get back to the point where I'm just going through the reps. I'm concentrating to squeeze, slow negative, kind of a fast, but with a contraction on top, slow negative, kind of a fast contraction at the top, and not counting. And then when I feel like that lactic acid coming up, then I go, all right, 1, same pace, 2, 3, all the way to 6. And so sometimes if I watch my videos, I'll count. And like I said, I'm hitting 14, 13, 15, whatever. I don't squat, I power squat, leg press, leg extensions, pussy shit. Sorry, 6'2", bad knees, blah, 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 whatever. Excuses are like assholes, we all got them, but it is what it is, right? So my leg press, the only time I count on leg press is if I do it around the world, or not around the world, excuse me. Well, around the worlds too, actually. Around the worlds I do count. And I'll do 60 reps there. If I'm doing one-legged leg press, then I'll go, I'll go 10 right leg, 10 left leg, 10 right leg, 10 left leg. And I kind of have to count those. If I'm doing at the end of my workout, like the last workout, the very end on the leg day, I'm trying to get blood in my quads, and I'm doing one leg extension, it's the same thing. 10 left leg, 10 right leg, 10 left leg, 10 right leg, that's one set. And I do that 4 times. And that really gets a lot of blood in there, gets a lot of fluid around my old knees. And it just, that's how I do it. I only work out one body part a day. That's just how I've done it. I tried the 2 body parts a week thing, but I just can't recover fast enough. Never could, not even when I was younger. And I just don't have fucking time. Like, I've got to get in the gym now in under an hour tops, hour and 15 on legs, and that's with a partner if I happen to have one. But yeah, so train your brain to kind of stop counting, because when you say I'm going to hit so many, then you put a cap on your head, unless it's something specific, like, around the worlds where your feet are high up on the leg press and you're doing 20 reps, then you come down lower, do 20 reps, and you come down lower, do 20 reps, and you come out wide and do 20 reps. Then you kind of have to count. Another situation where I would count, like tempo, would be, 4 down, 4 down, 4 up, 3 down, 6 up on leg press speed, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. And even then I'd have someone else count the reps. Or I just wouldn't, if I'm by myself, I won't count. I'll just go until I can't do it anymore, or until I feel like it's unsafe to keep going. Again, my mind gives out before my legs. That's why my legs have always sucked. Biceps, back, chest, other body parts, I can go right through the pain zone, through the red to the white where you're seeing trails and stars, but I can never get that on my legs. I don't know why. It's just a limiting factor for me. So those are instances I count. Another instance I would count, if I was going to do a preacher machine, I'm going to do 12 reps. Then I'm going to count 10 breaths and then do 5 more. Count 10 breaths, do 5 more. Count 10 breaths, do 5 more. And, do that cycle 5 times and count that as one big rep, the giant set. Walk away, get some water, shake the blood out of my arms, and my workout partner go. And then do that 3 or 4 times. And again, that would be 12 reps on the leg, on the preacher. Let it go. Count 10 breaths. Shake the arms, get the blood out of them. do 5 more, and do that 5 times for a total of, you know, four sets. So with that specialty kind of training, yeah, that's about the only time I count in those very basic, specific scenarios I've just laid out to you, young man, Benjamin. Otherwise, if it's just a straight day, like shoulder training, chest training, nothing fancy, I just don't count until it starts hurting. And once it starts hurting, I try to get 6 more reps. And I know I'm going to be doing over 12 usually. I hope that helps. That's how I do it. I feel like it's pretty safe. You'll eventually be able to handle some pretty heavy weights doing that as well. Anyway, peace out until next time, you trolls. Take care.